Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and thanks for joining us. It is April the 13th. I'm Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Kate Parker. Boy, oh boy, is the South getting soaked this morning.
And thunderstorms in one spot this morning, which has been tough going, is Houston, Texas.
Yeah, it's been really wet there. The heavy downpours, it's creating a flash flood threat for us.
Low moving over, I think, portions of Texas. That's where hail is going to be a threat for today. I'm going to show folks where that threat is. The red zone across central Texas, a good chunk of Texas, really. And we do have the chance for some storms in southern Louisiana. We'll have to keep an eye on those this morning. We've been watching those showers and thunderstorms, mainly bringing heavy rain is a problem, but keeping an eye on any potential storms that sort of spin up a little bit. Maybe a couple of water spouts are possible out there. But you look at Texas as a whole, and this is the water vapor imagery, and we show it because we can see this spin right back here. This spin is the upper level low, and as that moves across Texas, that will help trigger thunderstorms, potentially with hail or some gusty winds. I saw underneath that upper level low, we picked up a couple of inches of snow in New Mexico, up at elevation, yes, but still, this is a cold upper level low that is moving in. Once it interacts with the warm, moist air that we have in Texas, that's why we'll be looking at the risk for some of those showers and storms. And we're going to see, as we put the radar into forecast mode, how things are going to pan out for you as we get you through today, watching for that upper level low to spin in. So West Texas first, we get the showers, we get a couple of thunderstorms. Dallas, for us, it's this evening. You can see the timing up there, 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. We'll watch for some of these storms, perhaps some hailing thunderstorms. Now, by far, the biggest problem, Kate, is going to be the heavy rain and how widespread it is.
Yeah, and just days and days and days on end. So let's go ahead and take a look at how many days of rain and thunderstorms you're going to be experiencing in Dallas, Texas. Now, you're starting out your Monday with those thunderstorms. You're going to continue with rain in the forecast, although a little bit cooler for you on Tuesday, but you warm right back up into the 80s by the time you head into Wednesday and Thursday. Get a little bit of that break on Wednesday, but here's the deal. It's weather you can wear, like we were talking about. The humidity is just so high. The atmosphere just feels heavy, like Jen and Mike were saying. So this is what it looks like right now on the radar. Fort Worth, right now over Sundance Square right now, you've got some pretty heavy rain, and right up into I-35 into Denton, that's where you're going to continue to see those heavy showers until you get about to the Red River. And then north of there, it's a little bit more light to moderate rainfall. And once you get into Norman, Oklahoma City there, Chickasaw, you're about to get a little bit of the moderate stuff there. Lawton, you've already gotten. Place Shawnee, Oklahoma, you have a bit of that as well. So this is what the situation is. This jet stream, we've got these lows riding along it. Whenever that happens, that's going to be kind of our catalyst for some of these showers and thunderstorms. But the moisture is in place, which means that it is widespread showers and thunderstorms each and every day over the next several days. It's not just one day. We have that risk of stronger storms today in Texas, but all the way along the Gulf Coast and then even a little farther north, getting into Tennessee, getting into North Georgia, you'll see some showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Same goes for tomorrow up into the Delmarva. Even you'll see a bit of that rain still keeping it along the Gulf Coast through the middle part of the week, the end of the week. It's just a widespread soaker, Jen.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be tough to get any soccer practices in for the kids this week, that's for sure. So we showed you the rainy week ahead, which has been good for the drought situation. But when you take a look at the moisture that we're dealing with across the South this week, not good necessarily. We look at New Orleans. We're actually about average, a little behind average when it comes to rainfall here. But because of all the rain in the forecast, we are looking at a flood watch in effect through Tuesday right now. And when you see this forecast, you can bet that we're going to have to extend that flood watch. Look at New Orleans. Next 5 days, every single day we pick up some rain, easily getting at least close to an inch or more than an inch on Tuesday and on Thursday, and coming close to it on Wednesday and Friday. And you know how it goes with showers and storms in the South. Someone is likely to get a whole lot more than this as well, especially when a storm gets stuck right overhead. This is what the radar looks like right now. And in New Orleans here, we're not getting the heaviest of rain, but you can see what's happening from Morgan City up towards Baton Rouge. A lot of moisture getting pumped in, and this is the pattern we are in through the week. So we're keeping an eye on your radar here for two reasons. One, of course, looking for that risk of flooding and too much rainfall, but also keeping an eye on any maybe spin-ups out there over the water. Some water spouts are possible there off the coast of Louisiana. This week, as we put into motion the precipitable water, which is how much moisture is available in the atmosphere if there's something to make it rain, there's a lot. And we're going to see that right through Friday, lots of it all throughout the southeast, especially from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, right into Georgia and into South Carolina as well. So how much rainfall looks like this? We've got a widespread area of 3 to 5 inches of rain, and some spots will get locally 5 to 8 plus. We've already been seeing that over the last 2 days in the Florida Panhandle.
A little better for you than it was this morning. morning. So let's talk about what it looks like currently. You can see those showers starting to move out near Belleville and then on up into Illinois, so on out of Missouri, although we do have a few showers still traveling along I-70, Columbia, Mexico, Missouri. You still have a couple of the showers moving into Herman as well. So keep that in mind that you may see one or two of these showers today, but that big soaker has passed on through. Same goes for Chicago. The rain has moved across the lake. We have seen it move on off to the east, so you've got a better looking forecast. In fact, take a look at where this cold front is. It is not hard to pin the cold front on the map this morning because you can see the winds. Look at them. Chicago, you've just made it on the other side of this front. So now your winds coming out of the northwest, whereas in front of the front, we've got all this moisture coming out of the south, feeding that convection right along the line. So this is what it looks like for Indianapolis. Not quite getting that rain just yet, but it's already cloudy. And as we get into your lunch break today, and then maybe by the time you're picking up the kids from school and you're trying to make dinner plans tonight, you do have rain in the forecast, even a few thunderstorms in the middle part of the day. So bear that in mind as you make those afternoon plans. It does stay wet across the Ohio River Valley as we go through the evening, and then it moves into the northeast for tomorrow. Now to the northwest and what we have going on there, because it's been wet there as well over the last couple of days. I'm going to actually go ahead and ask Jessica to help me out a little bit in getting this in the right place, because this is obviously is not the Pacific Northwest. So let's actually talk about what we have going on, because you definitely still have a lot of rain in the forecast throughout the day today. It's going to be a little bit of a wet one for you, but this isn't going to be that really heavy rainfall at all times. It's going to be this light to moderate. You can see how large this area of rain is as it moves up into the Cascades. That's where we're going to see it still come down as snow, and it's all part of this low. Look at this great water vapor imagery here. See that nice swirl? That's the low that's drawing that moisture in, and it's going to ride along the jet stream, and that's what's going to cause these showers and thunderstorms for you as you go through the day. So this is what it looks like today. Pacific Northwest, especially coastal areas, even stretching a little bit into Northern California. You get a bit of that rainfall. Tonight, though, it's mountain snow stretching into the northern Sierra, the northern Rockies there, getting some more of that snow. Tomorrow, the same story. So you get wet along the coast, you head higher in elevation, and it does come down as snowflakes. In fact, places like Salt Lake City, if you're a little bit higher in elevation there, you're going to see some morning snow, but otherwise the temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. So Jen, a big contrast there, but we want this rain on the northwest coast for the drought.
We want it down in California, too. And in California, the historic drought is having large impacts on some of its neighboring states. For Montana, it's a positive impact. That's according to a Nobel Prize-winning climatologist who says if California's situation doesn't get better, some people could become water refugees who see Montana as an ideal place to find relief. Well, let's talk about this drought, right? So latest, as we have the latest updates, of course, in the West, we really don't see much improvement at all in California week over week. Here we go with the latest. 3 months ago, we were at 78%, minor improvements at 67%.
Yeah, we've been sitting at 67% for weeks and weeks now. That number really hasn't changed. Obviously, the northwest portion of the state getting a little bit of relief there, getting an improvement. We need it a little farther south.
So we take a look at the forecast. It's dry, as you would expect. As we get now into the middle part of April and tracking towards the end of April, we're about running out of time when it comes to our rainy season here in California.
Well, no drought to worry about. All right, well, thank you for staying with us on Weather Center Live. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Jen Carfagno. We're going to watch thunderstorms today, at least this morning in Louisiana. Potential, of course, for that severe weather. Other spots in the southeast, it's too much rain. And we've got pretty much a week's worth of rain coming our way, stretching from Texas through the Gulf Coast all the way to the Carolinas.
Now, Houston, a place where it's no exception. It has been a soaker. Yesterday, it rained all day. Today, you have more rain in the forecast, up to 5 inches total this week. That's why we find Mike Seidel there live. Heavy downpours in the forecast today. Mike, the threat for severe weather not very high there, but it does exist. Are you concerned with that? Too much rain, and again, we are looking at that tornado-warned storm that is just south of New Orleans, so bear that in mind, that these cells that are moving right here along the Gulf Coast, they do have the potential to have a little spin in them, especially in southern Louisiana, like Jen was just talking about. But beyond that, it's a soaker. Look at the panhandle of Florida. You are getting drenched. Atlanta, you do have some rain in the forecast. It's been kind of misting all morning, but here comes the heavier stuff, heading right up out of Alabama, right up to 85 there. So Montgomery, you're getting a little bit of a break. Birmingham, you've got some light rainfall right now. Definitely going to be the type of rain that just over the next several days takes that soil, saturates it. That's why we have flash flood watches in place. That's why places like Morgan City are getting soaked right now. Moving north across Louisiana, all these parishes just under a real soaker. That's why we've got the flash flood that extends all the way from Texas into Panama City, Florida. So a large stretch along the Gulf Coast, and that's exactly where we're seeing all the rain on the radar. Some of these cells are going to contain a lot of that heavy stuff, but just getting the days and days of that soaking rain is enough to add up to 3 to 5 inches. This is through Friday. This does not count the rain that you already saw yesterday along the Gulf Coast. You're going to continue with that, and in a widespread 1 to 2, but in some of these isolated spots, you could see greater than 5 inches. So let's talk about what's happening this week. This is the culprit, the jet stream just riding here, pulling all that moisture right out of the Gulf of Mexico. You can feel it in the air. It's weather you can wear. We've got widespread showers and thunderstorms anticipated all this week. So if you live anywhere across these southeastern states or even in the southern plains, you can expect this wet weather. Speaking of, we've got the risk of severe weather today across Texas and in southern Louisiana. Tomorrow, these thunderstorms are going to spread into the Carolinas, even making their way into Virginia, Maryland. By Wednesday, you'll notice that we have the rain still sticking around Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and then Thursday, it's this widespread swath from Kansas all the way to South Carolina, down into Florida. The thing is that it's not going to be this huge soaker. It's just going to be one of these situations where you see days of thunder like this. So with all this rain that we keep on seeing, I mean, this is time that you need to be kind of focused and aware before you head out the door, because it can change the way you drive.
It should change the way you drive, actually. And we're going to help you understand how you need to adjust your driving when it comes to driving in the rain. So what about the proper braking distance? We talk about it when it comes to snow and ice, right? But with wet roads, you need that too. So if you're driving 70 miles per hour, which, you know, everyone does on the highway, even if it's not quite the speed limit, you need 315 feet between you and the car in front of you to stop in a safe distance when it comes to wet roadways.
But when they're wet,
dry roadways, excuse me.
Yeah, that's when they're dry. Whenever they're wet, you can go to 560 feet, nearly 2 football fields is the braking distance that you need. So you need to slow down. You can hydroplane. It doesn't have to be fast. 35 miles an hour, you can hydroplane your car.
Exactly. So we want to make sure that you are safe. You know, when you have the heavy rain, not only does it create a tough situation on the road surface, but it reduces visibility, and that also, of course, affects your minimum braking distance.
So just keep that all in mind as you head out the door. We're going to keep you updated on the tornado warning and what else we
want to show you a vantage point of this tornado and the path that it took. It was a half-mile wide at spots. When we put this into motion, it crossed just north and west of Rochelle, originating here just to the north and west of Rochelle, Illinois. And again, you can see the path.
Yeah, there it is. You see that little faint gray line. So when we talk about Rochelle, that was their perspective, being able to see that. A lot of folks in that town were able to see the tornado pass. And then Fairdale, almost a direct hit in that community. It was a direct hit in that community. You know, it was almost every building sustained damage, and a lot of them were completely destroyed.
And so, as you saw in the pictures and heard in the video there, today is another day where folks are going to try to look for their possessions. And we know in cases like this, the winds can actually carry tornado debris for quite a while. Yeah,
so it's going to be a long process and a long cleanup effort. A little bit of rain in the area last night. You're drying out is the good news this week. A little breezy for you today, but temperatures couldn't be better.
You know, every overnight we'll have temperatures dropping into the 40s, but during the afternoons we'll see temperatures climbing into the upper 60s.
Okay. Cold front, and here it is. Taking a look at Indianapolis, there comes the rain. Terre Haute, you've got the rain right now, and we're starting to see it in Lafayette as well. So Kokomo, you're getting a little bit of those showers. This is going to move across 74, so you've got some downpours that are going to be blinding. You're going to see that travel trouble that we were just giving you tips on how you can try and stay safe on the roads. Remember, safe braking distance. You want to have everything just right for that. Okay, there's the front. It's like it's one of the easiest things for you to see on this map right here, right? Moving really quickly. Chicago, you're already past it. Look at these winds. See how they're out of the south, out ahead of the front? That's adding fuel to these showers and thunderstorms. Back behind it, winds are out of the northwest. That's going to cool you down a bit, dry things out a bit. It doesn't happen immediately, but eventually you do get that clearing. So here's the timing for Indianapolis. You already see the rain off toward your west. It's breezy right now. By the time you hit your lunch break, that's when you're going to start to see the risk of thunderstorms. Behind the front, some of that rain does linger, and so it does look like it might be a little wet by the time you're picking up the kids from school. So if they normally walk them from school, you might want to go ahead and start making those plans to change your afternoon routine. Here's what happens tonight. See these thunderstorms and these showers? They move off to the east, which means that by tomorrow morning, your Tuesday morning commute, it's the East Coast that's going to be wet. From down East Maine all the way down south into Miami, Florida. We've got showers in the forecast. So 95, you are going to be wet. You're going to see showers. Those could impact your morning commute. We're already already seeing that happen in a lot of places in the south this morning. Jen?
Yes, in the west, for ski resorts in the Rockies, winter season will come to an end soon.
Yeah, and you would think it'd be a sad time for skiers, but in Aspen, they're going out with a bang. Haley O'Brien takes us inside Shinnecock.